Hello and welcome to Business Calculus. I'm your instructor, Scott Darty, and in this video I'm going to give you a brief overview into my math lab. So in my math lab you have these buttons on the left hand side, and I'm just going to go over each of these. The first announcements button pulls up this calendar. Now this is the month of January, and you'll notice these icons on the calendar. This icon indicates that there's an announcement posted on this day, and you can click on that icon to pull up the announcement down here. Now I'll be posting announcements throughout the course, so you should be checking for those on a regular basis. When I send out an announcement, I also send that announcement to your email address that you've posted in my math lab. This icon indicates that there's a quiz due on January 31st by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. All times in my math lab are in Eastern Time, so that would be 10:59 Central Time. Now you have to take the orientation quiz before this date, or you'll be dropped from the course. The orientation quiz is not graded, but again, if you don't take it before February 1st, then you'll be dropped from the class. So that's your first assignment. Make sure you do that as soon as you can. Now this green icon indicates that there's a test due. That's the due date for the first test. So it's due February 1st at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. And then if you want, you can just scroll through the rest of the months. This is the month of March. That's the second test is due on March 8th. And then April 8th is the due date for test 3. And then test 4 is due on May 3rd. And then May 13th is the last day of class. Now these little icons indicate that the homework is due. All the homework for the class is actually due on the very last day of class, including the final exam. The final exam is due on the last day of class. The final exam is comprehensive, so it covers everything in the course. Okay, the orientation button pulls up this orientation document. And I'll let you read through most of this, but let me highlight some important points here. Again, you have to take the orientation quiz before February 1st or you'll be dropped from the class. And then this document just goes over what each of these buttons does in a little more detail, so I'll let you read through that. In terms of contacting me, this is my cell phone number if you want to call me or text me. And then I also have my email address if you want to email me. And then I'll let you read through most of this. The only other thing I want to highlight here is that when you go to take a test, all the tests will be taken online at your home without a proctor. And so when you pull up a test, you're going to have to enter in a password. And so the passwords for the tests are given here. So for example, test 1, the password is test 1. Test 4, the password is test 4, and then the final exam, the password is final exam. Okay, so I'll let you read through the rest of this document. I just want to highlight those points from this document. Of course, this is the orientation video that you're looking at now. This assignments button will pull up all of the homework, the test, and the orientation quiz. So here's where you can take the orientation quiz. Now notice there's no time limit on this quiz and you have an unlimited number of attempts. Again, this quiz is not graded, but again, you have to take it before February 1st or you'll be dropped from the class. So make sure you do that as soon as possible. Now you can see this is the homework from chapter 3. Now the homework, let me pull up a homework to show you. So this particular homework has 10 questions. When you click on a homework problem, you'll see that it has this question help button on the right hand side. And so there's some various ways of getting help in my math lab. So this first button, the help me solve this button, will actually guide you through this particular problem step by step. Whereas view an example will pull up a problem very similar to this one and work through every step in that problem. The video button will pull up a video that's related to the problem. The textbook will pull up the section from the textbook that's related to the problem. And then the Ask My Instructor button will allow you to send me a message via email. It'll also send the problem to me so I'll know which question you're working on. So that should be helpful as well. And then finally, if you want, you can print out the problem. By the way, you have an unlimited number of attempts on the homework. You can continue to work on the homework until you get 100%. Now, you also have the tests here. So when you pull up a test, you are going to have to enter in the password. Tests have time limits on them. This test has a time limit of 120 minutes, and you only get one attempt per test. Now, for each test, there's a review for the test. So make sure you go through the review before you take the test. Now, you have an unlimited number of attempts on the review, so you should just keep working on the review until you are prepared for the test. Okay, and then final exam, which you'll take near the end of the semester, also has a time limit. You only get one attempt on that, and then of course you want to take the practice final exam before you actually take the final exam itself. Okay, so that's what this button does. This pulls up the syllabus, and I'll let you read through most of this, but let me just mention a couple of things. You do need an access code, MyMathLab access code for this textbook in order to sign up for MyMathLab. Now, you can purchase the access code either online at the website for MyMathLab, or you can purchase it at the bookstore. You will need some sort of calculator for this class, probably a scientific calculator or higher. If you happen to have a graphing calculator, that might be a little bit better, but it's not required. So the TI-83 or TI-84 graphing calculator are optional, but you do need some kind of calculator, so at least a scientific calculator would be required. This is my office location. This is my office phone number and my email address. Now let's talk about registering for MyMathLab. So to register for MyMathLab, you need to go to this website and then click register as a student. And then they're going to ask you for this course ID, so you're going to have to put that in. Then you're going to have to put in your access code. And so to get an access code, again, you can either purchase it online or get it from a bookstore. If you buy it online, you can use a credit card or PayPal to pay for it. Or you can get temporary access for, I believe, a couple of weeks. Eventually, you'll have to pay for it. You'll be denied access after the 2-week temporary access period, and in order to get back into the MyMathLab, you'll have to pay for it. Okay, so if you have any questions about registering, just let me know. If you run into any issues that MyMathLab can help you in terms of technical support, you can click on this link here. Now, in terms of evaluation in the class, we have our 4 tests, and that's going to be worth 60% of your grade. The comprehensive final exam, which covers everything in the class, is worth 20% of your grade. And then the homework in MyMathLab is also worth 20% of your grade. And then your letter grade will be determined by this 10-point scale. The last day you can withdraw from the course is April 9th. And then as I've mentioned several times, if you don't take the orientation quiz before February 1st, you'll be dropped from the class. The final thing I want to mention in the syllabus is that if you fall more than 2 weeks behind on the course calendar, you may be dropped from the class for not participating in the class. So make sure you don't fall behind more than 2 weeks on the course calendar. And I'll let you read through the rest of this. There might be some things in here that you want to read in more detail, but I'll let you look at that on your own. Okay, the next button is the calendar button. So here's how this calendar works. Notice that you have like these sections here like 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, and 3.4. Those are suggested dates for you to do the homework in those sections. But those are soft due dates. This is just kind of a guide to help you keep up with the homework, as well as the practice test. That's just a suggested date of doing the practice test. But the due date for the test is a hard due date. So you have to take the first test by the end of February 8th. Now, test 1 is going to be over chapter 3, so you do want to get all the homework done for chapter 3 before you actually take the test, right? You'll do better on the test if you finish all the homework from chapter 3. Okay, now again, if you don't finish all of the homework, you can continue to work on it after the test, because technically the homework is not due until May 13th, which is the end of the semester. Okay, so that's the way this calendar works, right? The next test is going to be due, test 2 is due March 1st, and it's over chapter 4, and these are the suggested dates of completing the homework for the chapter 4, as well as the practice test. Those are soft due dates. Hard due date is you must take the test by March 1st, right? Test 2 is due by the end of March 1st. Okay. The next test is due April 8th, and it's over chapters 5 and 6. And again, these are suggested dates for doing the homework and the practice test. Like I've mentioned before, the last day you can withdraw is April 9th. And then the fourth test is due May 3rd, and it's over chapter 7. And these are suggested dates for doing the homework. But this is, again, a hard due date, right? You must complete the fourth test by the end of May 3rd. And then, as I've mentioned before, the comprehensive final exam is due May 13th. And then, of course, some point before then, you want to work on the practice final. Okay, so that's the calendar. The chapter contents button will pull up the book, right, the electronic book. This multimedia library button you'll be using throughout the course, because this is going to help you search for the videos that you're going to be watching before you start working on the homework. So the first homework assignment is going to be from chapter 3, so you can search for videos for 3.1 by clicking on, chapter 3 and then section 3.1, and then click on video and then find now, and it's going to pull up all these videos. Now the video that you're going to watch for learning the material for this is the section lecture at the very bottom. Okay, so watch this video first, the section lecture video first, and then you can start working on the homework for section 3.1. Now, if you want, you can look at these other videos. They're examples on very specific things that you might be interested in looking at, but you need to watch the section lecture video first, because that kind of gives you the content of the section. Okay, so for example, and then you can go do the homework from section 3.1. Then when you're done with that, then you can go to the next section, 3.2, and then find the video for it. And then watch the section lecture video, right, the one at the bottom. Again, you can watch these other videos if you like, but you need to watch the section lecture video first, because that gives you the content for that particular section. And then you can work on the homework after that. Okay, I've added some additional videos from YouTube for section 6.5. 6.5 is on related rates, which is a section that deals with word problems. And so there's several different types of word problems that you're going to run into in this section. So I just gave you a little more variety of the different type of problems that you'll run into. And so you might want to watch each of these videos just to learn how to do each of these individual word problems, in addition to the section video lecture from 6.5. Okay, that'll give you an introduction to this section, and then you can watch these specific videos to learn how to work out these particular word problems. The Tools for Success button, I don't think there's a lot here that you're going to want to look at. It does have this applied study card. And it just gives you an overview of many of the formulas and ideas that you'll run into in this class. So it's a good reference. We're not going to be using Excel, but we do have the graphing calculator tutorial here and a reference card. So you might find that useful. This reference card, if you happen to be using the graphing calculator, could be a good a reference for you to learn how to use your calculator to do various things in the course. There's also a manual for your graphing calculator if you want to look at that. Again, the graphing calculator is not required, so this would be just an optional thing if you happen to have a graphing calculator and you want to learn how to use it to help you solve some of the problems in calculus. Okay, the last button here is the gradebook button. To pull up your grade, you need to press Show Calculation up here, and it's going to break your grade down by homework, test, and it says quiz here, but that's actually the final exam. Remember, the orientation quiz is not graded. I placed the final exam under the quiz category just to separate it from the tests. So when you see this quiz, it actually is the final exam. And you can see that the homework is worth 20 points, the quiz is, the final exam is worth 20 points, and the tests are worth 60 points. And then the number of points that you have earned out of these is posted over here. So if you get a 90% on the homework, then you'll get 18 out of 20 points, right? 18 points earned. And then your total points will be down here, your total points earned. And if you scroll down here, you can see your grade on individual assignments. Okay, so that's just a brief overview of MyMathLab. If you have any questions about registering, or if you have questions about any of the homework or anything like that, feel free to contact me either by cell phone or by sending me an email. Other than that, I can't think of anything else I need to mention. Have a great semester, and hopefully I'll be talking to you soon. Bye-bye.